What's up, guys? It is February 20th, and welcome to the first ever uSTADIUM Hot List. This is going to be a show that we go through throughout the weeks. We're going to be talking about the hottest topics and do a couple of, rundown style type shows with my guests, Jason and Frankie here. Get
I'm
into
a
a lot of
guest.
different stuff.
When the hell? How the hell am I a guest?
Not a guest.
I'm a freaking co-host. Ain't no guest, bro.
Bro, what did you want me
You're
to say?
my guest. I'm not.
He's hijacking it
get
already.
you get the point. You know why, bro? Because we're on like three different screens. Eventually, we'll be doing this in person together, so it'll look a lot
Yeah,
better.
well,
Yeah.
be my guest.
Anyway, we're going to be doing a lot of different topics, like I said, and let's get started with this first one here. Justin Fields recently went on to Instagram and decided he was going to unfollow the Bears. So there was multiple different reports about the Bears and what they wanted to do this offseason and in the draft. I think a lot of people think it's probably going to be best for them to go out and draft a quarterback. I know that's what I think. What do you guys think about the Field situation with him unfollowing the team, and now his next highest odds are surprisingly the Atlanta Falcons? So how do you guys feel about that?
I mean, if you're not going to extend a quarterback, it's a pretty good reason to move on and get rid of him. Now, personally, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors, in terms of prospects, are better long-term investments than Caleb Williams. And that's a hot take, but that's how I feel. Listen, it's the right move to move on from Fields. I think you could have surrounded him with an O-lineman and a solid wide receiver, one of those three, or a Brock Bowers. But this is the right move. I think he's going to end up in Atlanta. I mean, they're the odds-on favorite for a reason if it's not the Bears. So I think Atlanta will have something really good to work with Bijan, Fields. Kyle Pitts maybe turns into something now with a competent quarterback play. And I think Falcons is a good fit. I think it's the only fit that really jumps off the table and makes sense. But it's time's over in Chicago.
Yeah, man, he didn't make it happen in Chicago, so I don't blame Chicago at all for wanting to move on from Justin Fields. He didn't win enough games. In this league, you got to win football games. You got to get to the playoffs. You got to put some seasons together that you can look back on and say, oh, I could build from there. He didn't do that, Justin Fields. So I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, they kind of feel bad for Fields a bit. He didn't get the job done. They got him DJ Moore. They got him some other pieces, and it just didn't work out. Granted, that team's in sort of a weird semi-rebuild, so I'm curious to see what they want to do at quarterback moving forward. But, yeah, it makes sense for them. You draft Caleb Williams. He's the most talented player at the position, and you try to move from there. I think the Steelers make more sense than the Falcons, if we're being real. I just think Pittsburgh has a better system. I think they have a better head coach. I think they're more well-run, and I think Fields will get more support there. They can run the football a little bit, and in more of a cold weather place like he's used to in Chicago, you can run that option read. So I think Pittsburgh's a better fit than Atlanta. Atlanta does have that fast track with their indoor stadium and whatnot with their dome, but I think Fields Steelers just makes more sense if he wants to make something out of his career.
Yeah, I don't feel a particular way about, which team. To me, we've seen what Fields is, and I think that putting him on the Steelers would make them slightly better. I mean, I think anything is better than Pickett, to be honest. But even on the Falcons, they had Desmond Ridder, so that's also a significant upgrade. He's a good quarterback, and I mean, I don't want to put him over the top here, but I would say he just hasn't done enough to really just, prove his worth in the league. I don't know. I just feel like there's many better options.
I don't think he'll ever be a great quarterback in the league. It's you're taking on at his ceiling is a good quarterback. You win maybe 8-9 games, you sneak in. Well, they can win the division if they do get Fields. I like their chances to win the division last year with their quarterback situation. Now the Bucs ended up having a great year, but they can win that division with Justin Fields, and you can regularly make the playoffs year after year. I mean, it's a weak division, but you're never going to win or compete for a Super Bowl with Justin Fields as your quarterback. It's just that simple.
Yeah, we have an interesting question right here from Hipster Genius. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to the people in the chat. What's going down? Have you seen mocks that have Michael Penix Jr. to Pittsburgh? How possibly do you all think that is? So, all right, so Pittsburgh's drafting 20th. So I don't know. There's been rumors Penix is going to be a first rounder. I've heard anything from he's going to go in the first round to he's going to be a 4th or 5th rounder. I've heard everything with Penix. It's going to really matter how his medicals turn out because he's had some injury issues, and if a team fall in love with him after the combine and in his pre-draft interviews. I think Penix is talented enough where a team like Pittsburgh could potentially make a move for him in the late first round. The issue with Penix is his age and his injury risk. That's the biggest issue with Penix. He's 24 and he's gotten hurt a lot. So to me, it's not like you're drafting a J.J. McCarthy, a young kid, or you're drafting a Jaden Daniels that you can sort of see them grow up and you can put them under your wing. Penix is older already, so then if he's hurt, what, you're going to start him when he's 27, 28 and has all these injury issues? So, but I love Michael Penix. So I think if Pittsburgh drafts him at 20, I think it is a bit of a reach, but I don't think it's a stupid move. They've had so many issues at the quarterback position. They cannot find a quarterback. You got to draft one till you find one, right? So I think it makes sense for Pittsburgh to try to see if Penix could work at 20. I don't know. What do you guys think?
To me, Penix is all going to be everything we see at the combine from Penix is going to matter a lot. I think the 100%. Injury risk and the health reports and all that stuff that's going to come out of the combine, those are the biggest things that are going to determine where he ends up landing in the draft. He has first-round talent, no doubt about it, but the injury history and, like you said, Frankie, the age, quite frankly, that could easily push him back a round or two. I mean, like we said, massive arm, lefty, all the tools, can even scramble outside of the pocket a bit. I mean, he's the guy, not the guy in this draft, but I would say he's probably one of the more talented quarterbacks. Like, he's definitely more talented than J.J. McCarthy. And J.J. McCarthy is getting talked about like he's a first rounder right now. So I'm really not sure where to stand on Penix. I mean, even in the national championship game, I know McCarthy played a cleaner game, but they were running it the entire time. I mean, they weren't really relying on McCarthy to carry the offense. So we'll see about that. But speaking about McCarthy and Penix in college football, the college football committee approved the 5+7 rule. So basically, the 5 top conference champions are now going to be guaranteed, in order of how they're ranked, are going to be guaranteed a spot into the playoff. This obviously
Let's
comes.
Go.
I mean, that's
we
how
needed
I think
this, baby. Let's go.
Needed it.
And I don't want to hear. And I want to hear any Florida State fans bitching if you guys got your asses kicked after complaining about not being in the top 4. So save it. Seriously.
Yeah, this comes at the heels of that. Obviously, Florida State gets shafted, or I don't know, however you want to say. But to me, I don't know. I wanted them in. I
mean, it sucks, right? They want.
I wanted
have
Michigan
their record and you don't get in.
I wanted an easier opponent. I knew that Alabama was going to be tough, right? So even Georgia was right
the
there.
resident Michigan fan. Remember, I was killing you for it all year.
You're just cooking me because of my loyalty to Michigan. Anyway, yeah, we've been waiting for this for a long time. How do you guys feel about the 12-team format? I think, for me personally, this is fantastic. It opens up the door for, underdog stories, for teams to be the 11, 12 seed and get in. The thing is that bothers me, as always, is that the committee is deciding this, right? So it's always in the eyes of the committee. There's really no other way to determine which teams are the best from top to bottom. But the 12-team format, to me, is awesome for college football. And it's what we needed, man. No more 4-team playoff. I get we want to see the 4 best teams, but what do you guys think about it?
This is long overdue, in my opinion. I think games should be settled on the field, not in a boardroom of guys that think they know something that we don't. I mean, the Florida State thing is a great point. Like, they didn't deserve to be in the playoff last year, but maybe things go differently if they get in somehow in an expanded playoff. Things can happen. Maybe we see some Cinderella runs. I just saw Carlo in the chat made a great point. What if Notre Dame's the number 1 ranked team and the highest seed they can get is 6 because they're independent? But no, I think this is great for the game. This is great for college football. Gives us more bowl games. I mean, what's not to like here? This is long overdue. And
you guys know why they're doing this, right? There's one reason the NCAA is doing this.
TV rights.
Money. Yeah.
That money.
Moolah, baby.
TV money.
The more primetime games, the more money. And now with the NIL and how much money's being thrown around in college football, this is right up that alley. They're just trying to make as much money. This NIL thing is another convo. I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but it's getting very hairy, this NIL thing, how players are de-transferring and whatnot, but whatever.
That's a whole other separate topic. But this, so Barstool posted this article, basically just explaining how it's going to work. So under the 12-team playoff format that begins this fall, the 4 highest-ranked conference champions will be seeded 1 through 4, and each will receive a first-round bye, while teams seeded 5 through 12 will play each other in the first round on the home field of the higher-ranked team. So basically 5 through 12 is going to be, it's 5 through 12, and then it's going to be onward and whatever, the rest of the seeding. So higher seed is getting home field advantage in those games, while the first 5 teams get the first round bye. And that's how it's going to be. It's going to be like a full-on tournament.
I like it. I mean, it's cool.
We love March Madness, right? This is going to be, kind of a similar thing to that, where we're getting a larger style tournament, for football. It's great, in my opinion. Jay?
Speaking of great, the one and only, are we going on to my guy, my paisano brother? That's the next topic. I got to go to this right now. This guy, this is my spirit animal right here. Yeah. If I ever wanted to be a person in my life, I'd want to be Rick Pitino. We share a lot of similarities. We have a similar background, so... I went to the same restaurant he went to. The restaurants.
That's the person you want to be like, Rick Pitino.
That's my guy, dude.
So
that's how you coach him too, with the comments he made in the press conference. That'd be your coaching style.
No, that's 100% me, dude.
So
I franchise tag employees. It's like what
you taking them to strip clubs and casinos like Rick Pitino, Frank?
No, I just hate you because you come with me to Vegas every time we're in Vegas. So yeah, I know your game, Jason. I know your game.
In light of all of this new Rick Pitino news, this guy is absolutely out of his mind. I think it's hilarious what happened with this speech. It's a little bit embarrassing for St. John's, I think, but this guy is absolutely crazy. I mean, let's just, I don't even want to say anything. Let's just play the clip because it is so absolutely bonkers. I couldn't believe what he was saying.
I don't think they move well laterally. I don't think they're going to pick it up in the next week. I think they're slow laterally. I mean, Sean Conway gives you everything he can.
Okay, so off rip, calling out a player, Sean Conway. Sean Conway, I'm not really sure who you are. I'm sure you're a decent player, and I appreciate you, but I do feel bad for you, bro. Imagine your coach calling you out in front of, a large media gathering like this. Absolutely insane. First of all, I think if you're a coach, there's a better way to go about this, but it gets worse.
He's slow laterally. About 5 guys are slow laterally. Even the Celtics, when we lost, I've enjoyed every minute being a Boston Celtic coach. Didn't like the fact that we lost in that following year, but this has been the most unenjoyable experience I've had.
That statement in itself is so crazy. Essentially saying, even though we were losing in the NBA, it was honestly an enjoyable experience. Losing here is not enjoyable whatsoever. But my question to Rick Pitino would be, why did you sign up for this? If you knew it was going to be unenjoyable, I mean, you brought these guys in to be at your program. But let's just keep going.
Since I've been coaching.
You have any second thoughts of taking this job?
No, not at all. It's not St. John's. It's my team.
So you have no second thoughts about coaching this team, but you don't enjoy it? I mean, something's not adding up here. He's saying things that just don't make sense.
I think they're very respectful. They hear, but they don't listen. It's taken me a month to get them to throw bounce passes. Actually, 2 months to throw bounce passes. Just think.
I'll play the clip.
It took you a month, 2 months to teach your team how to throw bounce passes? I mean, are we serious here? I feel like Pitino's clearly not connecting with this team here. I mean, what do you guys think about this clip? Because this is so crazy.
Listen, here's the thing with Pitino. One, he hates NIL because players can leave after 1 year and they can just bounce. He's used to that old school, like take a full presidential term to build a program, build a culture over 4 years, do it his way. And that's just not going to happen in college basketball anymore. So, like, he's one of those, like, last of a dying breed. And it's not going to work. I just really don't think it's going to work. St. John's, they can't really afford to bring in compared to, like, the big blue-chip schools. It's not going to work with Pitino at St. John's.
Well, the thing with St. John's, man, it's just like a lack of talent. It's just always going to be that. So I think he's coming from places where, you know, Celtics, Louisville, he's been around the block. This is probably the least talented team he's ever had to coach and had to rebuild. So I see where he's coming from. He's looking at these guys playing. He's like, who the hell are these guys? And at this point, man, he's getting old. He's just saying whatever.
Frankie, it's his own guys. He brought those guys in, which is why it's so asinine to me.
Have you ever been to St. John's campus?
Team, yeah.
Would you want to play at St. John's? St. John's is a freaking dumpster fire. I would never want to walk 10 feet of that campus ever again.
It's the allure of playing in Madison Square Garden, bro.
I had an Uber share one day. We picked up a girl outside of. I had an Uber share. We picked up a girl recently that was coming from St. John's in the Uber. I like taking Uber shares. You know, I'm a social guy. You know, I like to save a few dollars.
Of course. Yeah.
And listen, looked like she got hit by a train in the morning. So I'm just saying, St. John's, that place is like a horror flick. They should shoot a horror movie there. I'm just telling you, St. John's. I don't know. Rick's got to get out of there before it's too late. Before he gets in trouble again.
Yeah. Speaking of the Garden and all of that, let's go on to Frankie's boy, Jason's boy, Mr. Jalen Brunson. So this has been a largely contested debate over here at uSTADIUM. I think everyone has a bit of an opinion on it. Do you think Brunson is top 10? Because to me, being top 10 in the league means that you're a superstar. I know people have different criteria for what a superstar truly is, but to be a superstar, in my mind, you have to be a top 10 player in the league. I think quickly I can name 10 players better than Jalen Brunson, but just to hear your guys' side of the argument first, why is Jalen Brunson a top 10 player? And do you think he's better than the likes of Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, and the rest of the guards in the league, like Tyrese Halliburton? And you know, where does he land in the rankings of the NBA right now?
Jason, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I was going out to Vegas, I had a layover in Chicago. The first thing I did when I got out of the state of New York was I put $5 on Brunson MVP just in case, because he's that good of a player. I don't care if he doesn't have the allure of like a Steph Curry and the brand and all this like brand recognition. Fuck that. Jalen Brunson's a superstar. Look at his stats night in and night out. You know the Knicks are going to try to beat you with Brunson, and he'll still find ways to beat you. The only team that I've seen all season that effectively took him away was the Lakers at the Garden, when it was just sending doubles at him the whole game, and he still dropped 40 plus points. There's maybe one guard in the whole NBA that's better than him this year, and you can make an argument because it's not even clear cut, and it's Tyrese Halliburton, in my opinion. He's better than any guards in the West this year. He's better than any guard in the West this year, and the only guard that I would say is having a better season is Tyrese Halliburton.
So here's the thing for me,
our starter.
Having a better season doesn't mean you're a better player. Like when I look at the top 10 of the league, I don't know if I'm necessarily – I think I am saying top 10 players right now, but how is Jalen Brunson a top 10 player when you guys have – I mean, you just said he's better than – I mean, this season, I guess you can make the argument.
I'm not saying he's better than fucking Steph Curry. Obviously not.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, Steph Curry's in the top 10 no matter what for me. Like, even if he's having a shitty season, what he's done in his career and everything, you know, Steph Curry could carry a team on his back for long stretches of time. And this is the first time in Brunson's career where he's really proving that. So if he keeps doing it, and this is a consistent thing year in, year out, I'll change my tune. But for me, you got to do it consistently. So I don't want to call him a superstar off rip, but I still think guys like Dame, Halliburton, Curry, I mean, I'm taking all three of those dudes. I mean, we don't really consider Book a point guard. Like Luka is obviously, if you call him a point guard, I'm taking Luka over him. Giannis, I think I just named 5 dudes right there. I'm going to throw in just for the rest of the top 10. Giannis, Jokic, Luka, I mean, Tatum. There's so many names. And
let me explain to you something. Let me just go into something really quick. I don't see the
top 10.
The problem with Jalen Brunson that people overlook is his physical stature, his attributes physically. You see a smaller guy, not too quick, doesn't really have the biggest hops, can barely dunk. So you're like, oh, this guy can't really be that good. Newsflash, he is that good. There's a reason he shoots nearly 50% every year that he's been on the Knicks the last 2 years. He is the only NBA player to drop 50 points what's the stat? I have it right here. He dropped 50.
That game?
He dropped 50. He had 50 points, 9+ assists, 5+ rebounds, and 5+ steals in a game. The only player to do it since Michael Jordan. He's one of the only players in NBA history, one of 4, that has 27+ points a game, 6+ assists, and shooting 40+% from 3. He is super efficient, and he's bringing the ball up every play. He's bringing the ball up. He's not Larry Bird that was sitting in the in the corner for a lot of the games. He wasn't. LeBron, who at a point wasn't playing point guard throughout an entire game. He's a smaller guy bringing the ball up every play. Stats don't lie. He's one of the best players in the NBA.
Yeah, okay. He's definitely one.
He's
of the
better
best
than Tyrese Halliburton. No questions asked. He's a winner. What's Tyrese Halliburton's record? What's his record? How good are the Pacers this year?
The Pacers also just traded for Siakam. I mean, we have to see what they are. I'm pretty sure they're the 4 or the 5. They're right behind.
They're this. Yeah, I think they're the 6 seed. But still,
the moves too.
Listen,
the Knicks were better than the Bucks up until a week ago. The Knicks were better than the Bucks record-wise. So you want to tell me Dame's better than Brunson in his career? He is.
Okay. So do you really think that Jalen Brunson is going to carry you in a 7-game series? This is what
yes, I do. If he's healthy, absolutely.
He's
clutch AF. Like clutch AF
right now.
Is he going to beat the 76ers with Embiid? Is he going to beat the Bucks? You're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
The Bucks are going to figure it out. Is he going to beat the Cavs again? The Cavs got a lot better. Don't sleep on the Cavs. I know you guys beat them last year, but they're a much better team this year. And is he beating the Celtics? To me, those are 4 really, really tough teams. Like the Cavs, I'll give you, but the 76ers, you know what? Embiid's injury, we'll throw that one away also.
Brunson got better now that
there's no chance that they're
Brunson got better with that house of bricks. RJ Barrett getting off the team because his assists went up instantly. RJ Barrett was clogging the paint. RJ Barrett could not stand in the corner and hit shots. Once they got rid of RJ and they opened the floor a little bit, Brunson's game just even went a little bit higher, even though last year he had a very good season. You don't average 27 points a game, 7+ assists at 40+% from 3 and 48%+ from field goal. Nobody does that. Who does that?
Listen, you're misconstruing.
It's not like he's an inefficient shooter. He's very efficient.
Listen, he's a great player, and he's teetering on superstar for me. He's right there. Like, he's right on the cusp of doing it.
It's because of his size.
It's because of his size. Are you kidding me? That has nothing to do with that.
If he was like a bigger guy or he was quicker, you would look at him differently. I'm telling you.
To me, do it in the carry the Knicks right now through the Eastern Conference. Get them a 3 or 4 seed because there's a shit ton of injuries. If you could come back after the All-Star break and carry this team with no OG, no Randall, no Mitch, and no even Bogdanovich was a little bit hurt, and everyone's out right now. If you could carry this team down the stretch, and then as the team gets healthy, you continue to win, and then you bring that into the playoffs, and you get past the second round, that's my bar. Jalen Brunson and the Knicks get past the second round, I will call your boy Jalen Brunson.
Do you want to have that same opinion with Tyrese Halliburton?
I do.
It's funny. Tyrese Halliburton doesn't need to go past the second round, and he's all of a sudden God's gift to point guards. But Jalen Brunson does. Tyrese Halliburton is overrated. Remember, I told you this.
No,
Tyrese Halliburton's overrated. He's very good. He's overrated. His shot, his form, his personality.
Who gives a fuck if the ball goes in the hoop?
His shot, his form.
Things are gonna pile on. The NBA, it's not a healthy league to you. It's not going to be nice to you. You guys will see.
Boomer take.
It is a boomer.
Let me ask you a
Welcome
question.
to the club.
Let me ask you a question. If Jalen Brunson isn't on the Knicks or wasn't playing at the rate he is at, like right now, like let's just say it's like a run-of-the-mill season, like an average season, are the Knicks even a playoff team or a play-in team? I don't know. No. I genuinely don't know. If Julius Randle was like the number 1 option, the Knicks are either the 9 or the 10 seed, or they're not even in. Brunson has elevated them.
Yeah, they're fighting for the play-in, I would say. Jalen Brunson
has single-handedly changed the direction of the Knicks franchise. Like, he has turned them into like a spot where like we can make additions now. Like, we can bring guys in, not like guys like Kevin Durant who ducked smoke in the garden. He took that smoke head on. He was about it, and he's turned this franchise around. Like, Brunson is the guy.
Can I name something? You know, Tyrese Halliburton played the Warriors on February 8th. You know how many points he had? He had 5 points. He was 2 of 7, 1 of 4 from 3. He played the Hornets a few games ago. He had 13 points. He was 5 of 15. He played the Kings, another really good point guard, in De'Aaron Fox. He had 14 points. The game before that, the Knicks, he had 15 points. The game before that, the Celtics, he had 13 points. This is the game log. This is do not compare. Do not tell me Tyrese Halliburton's better than Jalen Brunson. You are wrong. Because Jalen Brunson's dropping 25 plus every night, maybe 30.
Bro, Tyrese Halliburton is a better distributor of the basketball than Jalen Brunson. His scoring, I will give you to Brunson right now, but I do think as Halliburton keeps getting better, the scoring is going to take care of itself. He has nights where he's dropping 30. He has nights where most of the time it's really like 20, 22. That's what he's averaging, I would say. But it's going to turn up eventually. I mean, when he goes off, he goes off. He's also a triple-double threat. Like, as good as Brunson is, he's not getting enough rebounds to be able to do that.
Who gives a crap about triple-doubles?
It's true, bro. Both can take over a game, but I would say that.
Do you think, do you know Tyrese Halliburton's averaging, I'm looking now. Sorry, I know I have stats up, so it's kind of an unfair thing to do, but he's averaging 3.9 rebounds a game. Tyrese Halliburton, big bad Halliburton.
No, listen, I'm not saying. I mean, that's decent. He's getting
he's averaging as many rebounds as Brunson is, basically.
How many is Brunson?
They're 3.8.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But let me ask you a question. Let's do this in a 2-year window. Let's just say 2 years, because I know Tyrese is younger and whatever. In a 2-year window, if you had to have one guy that's fully healthy to be your starting point guard, Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Halliburton, D, who are you taking?
I'll take Halliburton.
Fully healthy?
Come on, D.
D, you gotta watch the Knicks more. I know you were watching the All-Star game and you saw Dame hit a half-court shot.
I
know that, dude. I'm just saying.
I just feel like
Knicks games then.
I don't know, dude. Just Halliburton is a star, and he's gonna be a star. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I love Brunson; he's a great player, but just the size of Halliburton is such a big thing also.
Yeah, I told you it's all about the size.
No, it's not all about the size, dude. But I mean,
it's not how big, it's how you use. It's not how big you are, it's how you use it, pal.
He's just a more complete player, bro. He's better at passing also. That's really my main thing. If you want a more, I don't want to say traditional. Obviously, Brunson is the more traditional guard, but dude, Halliburton is the best at dishing it in the league right now. It's not even close.
The thing with Halliburton is,
that is true.
And we can end this topic because we'll go on for 2 hours about this. If it's a close playoff game and you need a bucket and you have to get a high quality shot, because Tyrese is a great distributor, doesn't do it for me in that spot. Jalen Brunson's going to hit clutch spots. But it's not like Jalen isn't a good distributor. He's not a great one.
But I'm not. Listen, you guys are taking this the wrong way. I'm not shitting on Jalen at all. Both are really, really good players. It just, to me, how I would want to build my team, I prefer the playmaking. Scoring could be found, in many different ways. To me, I don't think Jalen Brunson, as the leading scorer of the Knicks, is going to win them a championship. It isn't. There's still one move away with another actual superstar that can drop, 25 to 28. Yeah.
I think that's what it is. That's the move, is get healthy. The move
even if they get healthy, dude, what's their ceiling? The Eastern Conference Finals? I don't see them getting past the Celtics, dude.
100%.
That's it, though. That's it. To me, I don't think you're winning a NBA championship with Jalen Brunson being your freaking, your all-star starter.
All right, listen, we'll keep it in New York.
Super crazy.
We'll keep it in New York. We're going to talk some baseball now. Spring training's coming up. I think everyone's reported now, pitchers and catchers and position players. So we got Aaron Judge met the media today. D, if you want to roll the clip, there might be something up Brian Cashman's sleeve.
Oh, yes, there is.
And it's another lefty.
I hope so. And there's still a couple of top free agents on the market unsigned, especially pitchers. Is there any part of you hoping that you guys still have another move in you?
I hope so. They're always working. That's the thing that's amazing about being here with the Yankees is, they're always trying to improve. They're always trying to make moves, if it's via trade, if it's via free agency, so I definitely feel like there might be another move, on the way, but, you never know. We'll see.
So there you go. The man himself, Aaron Judge, gives it to you himself. He believes that there is another move on the way. Do you guys think Snell is a good fit for the Yankees? Do you believe that with the limited innings that he does pitch, he's going to be truly effective in that rotation?
I think if Snell joins this rotation, you're looking at a staff of Cole, Cortez, Rodon, Stroman, Snell, and then Clark Schmidt can be the swing guy. That's a damn good rotation. There's only a few rotations that I think that really stick out on paper, and it's the Dodgers, and they have injury concerns. And the other one that really stands out to me is the Seattle Mariners. I think Snell joining the Yankees puts them up at the top. And I mean, the offense.
I would say the Orioles also a pretty Bradish injury.
Yeah, and G-Rod's going to come along. He's going to have a great year. But
yeah,
when you're looking at rotations like team-wide, I think if Snell joins this team, now listen, I don't love the fact that there's 3 lefties. If you're facing a team and you're throwing 3 lefties in a series, you got to find a way to spread that out. But the Yankees bullpen is great, and I think it's great because I'm a big Matt Blake fan. But a lot of people are questioning the depth. Dude, we can turn trash into treasure with Matt Blake. If you can throw a sinker and a slider, you will be productive in pinstripes. That's the Matt Blake method.
Listen, so when Cashman says they're going all in, this would be an all-in move. To get Blake Snell, that's an all-in move.
Yamamoto was the all-in move.
That was the all-in
come
move.
to fruition.
The thing that also bothers me, and we mentioned it, if you're going to get, Snell pitches a limited amount of innings, so you want a good bullpen when you have a guy like Snell. To me, it was so easy. I don't know why they didn't go and get Hader to be that dominant closer at the back end of their bullpen. I feel like
I wouldn't want to pay Hader. I really wouldn't want to pay Hader. You got guys like Loizaga.
If you're all in, why does the money matter?
Marinaccio. Because, dude, it's just asset management at that point. And like, Hader, a long-term deal when you have Soto and Gleyber Torres as impending free agents next year. I'd rather save that money for Soto. We can go find a guy with a 5 ERA in Pittsburgh that has a mean spin rate on his sinker, and we'll turn him into a sub-2 guy. And that's just how we do. That's how the Yankees do. That's how Matt Blake works.
So do you guys think Blake Snell? I think the thing with Blake Snell too is I think he's going to want to be paid in that $200 million plus range. And I think being 31 years old, you're not going to get that money. The years just don't work out. So him declining, what was it, Jay? It was 5-year, 150 from the Yankees.
It was around 35 annually. And yeah, I would only do that if it was a 3-year deal. I wouldn't go above 3.
The thing is, he's not going to want a 3-year deal because he doesn't want to re-enter free agency when he's 34.
Who else is in his market? Is in his market?
In baseball right now, what's going on is, in my opinion, you're looking at contracts. How do I get to 38, 39? Give me to 38, 39 and figure out that gap for me instead of me having to do it twice. So in his eyes, why, coming off he had a 2.25 ERA, he was the Cy Young winner. Why would I not look for a long-term deal, long-term meaning 8-9 years, versus a 3 to 4 year deal, which is ideal from our perspective or any team's perspective for the most part, and then re-enter free agency maybe off a bad year or two. So he's going to try to get what he can get. I mean, listen, at this point, the fact that he turned down the Yankees and they're trying to renegotiate with him, I mean, does he maybe not want to be here, or is he just looking for the money? 2 red flags to me. Although I would be looking for the money too, but
no, you got to get yours. Like you said, he's coming off a Cy Young. We've never seen a Cy Young winner get so disrespected in the free agent market as Blake Snell this year. I mean, everyone was head over heels for Yamamoto when he's never thrown a major league pitch. And granted, he's a great player. He's going to be a great player. But Blake Snell won the Cy Young the year before.
Blake Snell, though, isn't like a name you think of when you think of,
the dominant
Cy Young or dominant pitcher.
Alphas, but then again, it's like the Jalen Brunson thing. Like, he's productive.
Yeah.
He's just not the name of an ace.
Dude, he can't go past the 5th inning. It's like
that's just a walk thing. If he can control his pitches, like the only red flag of his record last year, of his stat line last year, was the walks. If he can limit the walks, he'll be fine. And when you got a guy like Clark Schmidt getting into a swing role, a 6-man in the rotation, a long relief, eat innings guy, that can work really well, and then hand it off to the big dogs in the bullpen.
I'm surprised Snell was tied for 3rd in strikeouts in the major leagues last year. That is a surprising stat. You wouldn't think that, right? But he balled out, man. He'd be perfect for a team that's going to make a push in the playoffs. He'd be great. I mean, you'd want him. I mean, Jason, if he comes to the Yankees and after Cole, you're going to be totally confident in him. You might be just as confident in Snell in a big playoff spot as you would Garrett Cole. So it just makes sense for us to pick up someone like that. No, Jason,
a little debatable.
Cole's had some cold feet in some big playoff spots.
That's really only
at least some play-ins.
Only fun.
No way.
What about the game against Boston? Didn't he?
It's
the
only
Cleveland series. He left it. It was one of the best postseason performances I've ever seen, up there with Tanaka and Pettit. But yeah, I mean that's true. They're like a first round bye for the Yankees. But
let's read this comment here. What do you think of this comment?
The weirdest thing to me is that it's not just Snell. It's also Montgomery, Bellinger, and Chapman. Like those are three really good players that are just sitting on the market right now. And it seems like no one's willing to, go over the top and pay these guys. And I think it's the MLB is just realizing, like, screw Scott Boras. Like, if he's just going to try and hold this, for ransom here and expect this, exorbitant amount of cash for his players, screw him. Like, I'm not. Eventually, these guys are going to have to sign. But I wouldn't be surprised if one of those four dudes pulls a Michael Conforto and potentially sits this year. I mean, it could get to that, bro. Like, you got to start signing soon. The season's right around the corner. It's wild.
And understand this, too. That Ohtani deal did nobody else favors, especially teams, because whether or not it's relatable or not, when you're giving out that much money, $700 million plus, other players are going to be like, what the hell? Like, I can hit 35 home runs. I can bat, 305. I can have an on base of 405 or 410. I want, at least, a fourth of that. They're not going to get a fourth of that, some of these guys. Seriously. The Soto thing's interesting, too. He had comments today. Yeah, I'm going to be here for definitely a year for sure, and I don't know if it's going to be more than that. He might want, they were saying, $500-600 million. I wouldn't pay that much for Soto. I wouldn't personally. That's just me. I'd have to see what he's going to do this year. Listen, Jason, you can't.
What's your beef with Soto? I want to hear your.
Cortez struck him out 3 times today, right? You saw that?
It's probably the first live.
No, I have one beef.
Are you joking?
I have one beef with Soto. I don't like. I'm thinking about him in the playoffs, although he killed it with the Nationals. So he kind of was a little younger. He was more aggressive at the plate. I don't like how patient he can be at the plate. It's good. I know it's good. But I like a guy that's going to swing at the first pitch. I like seeing Altuve that's going to come up there and they're not going to take the first pitch. I think Soto's going to, in big spots, could take too many pitches like the Yankees love about, how they love that about players. I don't like that. I want to see him come up and freaking swing at the first pitch or be aggressive at the plate. Like, I just think he could be a little too patient at times.
You're going to change your tune on this in about the first 2 weeks of him being a Yankee.
No,
I 1,000% promise you.
You realize $500 million's a crap load of money, right?
It doesn't matter.
This is crazy to me.
It's a different type. I agree with Carlo, dude. Like, if
for
the Yankees
an average outfielder, for potentially a guy who's a little diva-ish,
for a generational bat that has put his name in conversations with Ted Williams because of his approach at the plate.
Do you know how much $600 million
is? Slider and roll over to second base.
Is that all right? So give him $1 billion. Would you give him $1 billion? What's too much?
My owner is Steve Cohen. I want to give him whatever he wants.
Would you give him $800 million?
He's not going to touch Queens. Dude, no. Why would you need to?
Well, what's too much then? To me, 600 is too much. I'd give him 450. I wouldn't go more.
He won't get 6. He won't get 6. 450,
I think he will get 6.
475. No higher than 5 right away.
Someone's going to give him 6.
The money doesn't move that fast. You don't jump from like these Judge deals to instantly, let's just go fucking pull a Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson type deal and give somebody way more than what market value is. Like, that still exists.
The market value is pretty set. I mean, look what Ohtani just got. Like, he's probably getting more than Ohtani.
But he doesn't pitch, though. They're different contracts.
He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, Carlo.
Ohtani has the injury.
Go into the questions. I mean, he's got to go. He's got to do a little bit more to be a first ballot.
He took down a cheating Astros team before he could legally drink a beer.
Listen, he's at 24. He's done more than 99.9% of MLB players at his age. I know that. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer yet. We gotta this like Hall of Fame. Just a guy's awesome for 4 years. Give him Hall of Fame stuff. That's NBA and
2 more years
world. Now the
like
NFL's like that. Now
everywhere.
baseball's becoming like that too. We got to chill out with these Hall of Fame proclamations. They're insane to me, and they kind of bother
this segment
me.
for his Hall of Fame induction speech when he goes in wearing pinstripes one day. Because
listen, I hope
when
so,
we win
dude.
some rings with the when he wins some rings with the Yankees, you're gonna eat those words. I'm gonna pull this clip right up for you.
All right, and I will say the Yankees have zero excuses this year with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge in that lineup. Zero excuse. I don't want to hear shit about fucking Gleyber Torres. I don't want to hear shit about Giancarlo Stanton. I don't care. You have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. Get it done. Hit 40+ home runs each. Get on base and don't strike out. 110+ times, please.
Get on base.
Get
Frank.
on base.
Look at that. You're like, I want him swinging first pitch fastball every time.
I want 45 home runs. I want on base.
approach?
I want to score runs. I know they're going to get on
approach
base.
Guys, you look at Juan
I'm
Soto
gonna-
and Aaron
bro,
Judge.
I'll tell you right now,
They're going to put pitchers in hell.
the Yankees offense is going to be really fucking good this year. At least on paper, it's scheduled to be very good. The only
We don't have a
questions are
leadoff hitter though.
I think you're going to figure it out with Volpe. Volpe is going to,
Volpe's a 9. Volpe should be the 9. Don't put any pressure on Volpe's plate. He went 20-20 in a Gold Glove his rookie year. Make him the 9 hitter. Let him get on. Let him steal some bases. Let him move around, get into scoring position, and then you go into DJ, Soto, Judge. That's the way I would do it. Volpe at 9, double leadoff.
Yeah, DJ leadoff is
Kyle with the comment. All right, I got Soto hitting 45 plus. Made that take on the app. So we have the uSTADIUM app, the brand we're with, brand we're all repping out here. If you don't have the app, check it out on our bio pages or go to our Twitter. You can always DM us if you want some free points or figure it out. But takes are a way for you to make an opinion with an objective result, and people can agree or disagree. It's like a sports bet that you're creating. So Kyle, our boy Kyle, made a take that Soto hits 45+ home runs. You know what? I'm going to disagree with that. As a Yankee fan, I'm sorry.
45 is a lot. I just
45. I'm going 41, 42. Would you be surprised if he had 38? 45 is a lot.
45 is a lot.
I'm taking his over. I have my whole MLB props, season-long props ready to drop soon, and I took his over home runs.
Jason, by the way, what town do you live in upstate New York? What's the name of that town?
Homer.
Jason lives in Homer, New York. That's all you have to
know.
We cannot have subjective.
This is what he's telling you, bro. He's saying over 45 wins.
Yo, if you disagree with my Juan Soto take, you know where to find me then.
All right, bro.
Find him in Homer.
Anyway,
that's for you, Frank.
We'll move on from the baseball here. We do know it is February 20th, and that is the official opening of the franchise tag. So let's get into some of the teams, some of the players that are, looking to get tagged here and what we think about a couple of them. Let me pull it up right now. So the franchise tag for teams opens today and will remain open through March 5th. Here are some of the names to watch. So the question marks here for me, we'll just go through a couple of the names here. What do you guys think about the Giants situation with Saquon Barkley? Do you think that they're going to figure out a contract? Do you think that he's going to test free agency? Do you think it's worth it to give him the tag again? Because for me as a Giants fan, I think that the time is up on Saquon. I always felt this way as a Giants fan, even from the day that we drafted him. We probably should have never drafted him. I love him because he's on my team. I also, wasn't that big on him out of college because I'm a Michigan fan and he's a Penn State dude. But whatever, forget it. He's done so much for the Giants, and I appreciate what he's done. But, this team is looking pretty bleak next year, and I think if we're drafting a new quarterback or looking to trade up for a new quarterback, does it make sense to franchise tag him? What do you guys
appreciate? You and all Giant fans, you appreciate Saquon so much. You wish he never got drafted by the Giants, and you don't want him back on the team. So it shows how much you appreciate him.
I don't.
You guys, listen.
The Giants. I don't get to choose what these guys do.
The Giants offense over the last 5 years has been almost as bad as the New York Jets offense. Could be even worse, honestly, in some ways, because you guys have literally just depended on Saquon, and he's been awesome for you guys. Do I think you should sign him? No. Is he going to accept the tag? No. So give him the tag and then wait for a holdout situation. He's not going to play another year, especially when did you see that injury he had last year? Looked like his leg almost fell off. He's not going to come back this season and play on a 1-year deal. You can kiss that goodbye. So either you're going to sign him or he's going to be out of there.
Yeah.
I'm like certain of that. Like there's no shot. I cannot see him playing on a 1 year after he almost. Did you see that injury last year? He's not going to go into this season and risk injury, and he's going to get hurt probably. Like this is the thing too. Like agents think like they're going to get hurt. I'm not saying he will. I'm saying that how agents think. So they're not going to go into a season thinking he's going to have some catastrophic knee injury. You see what happened with Nutjob, etc. They're not going to come into this season without at least a 3-year deal. So the Giants, I don't know. If they don't sign him, though, where are they going to get their yards on offense? He's such a home run threat for you guys. I mean, you guys don't have that many, quality players on offense. Your offense
draft a quarterback who could freaking run like Jaden Daniels. There you go. Boom.
And what are you going to do with Daniel Jones? He's going to sit there making 40?
No. Daniel Jones will be playing. He will be the quarterback for this season. But the quarterback Giants do draft will 1,000% be sitting under him during this season, which I think is the correct way to bring a quarterback into the league. Not what the Jets did with Zach Wilson. And he's going to learn, dude.
Is Daboll going to want that? Is Daboll going to know that this is like a teach me year for a quarterback when he's ultimately out, that someone else might come in and coach that kid? Or is he going to pick someone that can help them win now with Daniel Jones?
I think that Daboll's ass is on the line, dude. He has to draft a quarterback here. That ensures him at least another season or two as the Giants head coach now.
That's out of his hands, though. That's the GM. What happens when Daniels goes 3 and all 3 quarterbacks are off the board? Are you going to trade out of 6? Are you going to trade down? Or that's a very realistic scenario.
I see them trading up, but we'll see about that. What did Carlos say over there?
Their best case scenario is trading up. Their only best case scenario in the draft for the Giants is trading up, and it's going to be incredibly difficult to get into one of those 3 spots.
Yeah. But I think
it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this Drake May, Jaden Daniels situation. It looks like Jaden Daniels is getting a little bit more buzz to even go before Drake May. I will say this: Drake May is a damn good quarterback. So if the Giants can land him, I think his structure, his build. He's like a Josh Allen mold. I haven't done enough film study on him, so I don't know how good he is. But I think he would work more, and he could work in New York. Those big body quarterbacks, those tall, gunslingers, they work, especially with the weather in New York. You kind of need that. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Let's get to another guy over here because I know Jason wanted to kind of go off on this one. Jason, tell me about Bryce Huff right now. Let me know the smoke, all of it. I want to hear it.
Undrafted free agent, one of the best pass rushers in the league last year. Don't show me sacks numbers and say Bryce Huff isn't an elite edge rusher. He was phenomenal last year. He completely transformed this defensive line. We didn't know what we really had at first, but he turned himself into a premier edge rusher in this league. We had the chance to tag him, and we knew last year in April at the draft that we weren't going to bring him back because we drafted Will McDonald. So what does that say to any other undrafted free agent that comes through your organization in New York? We're gonna have you play for like 2 years, 3 years. When your deal's done, we'll let you walk. We're not going to extend our homegrown talent. Bryce Huff deserved to be a New York Jet this year. I would put the tag on him right now, but I don't think it's going to be that way because Joe Douglas showed us that last year drafting Will McDonald when there was all the receivers still on the board. He was already thinking about his exit plan for Bryce Huff. So here we are, and he's going to be playing somewhere else next year in all likelihood. And it pisses me off, really.
I mean, Frank, the unfortunate reality is he priced us out, literally. So, I mean, he priced us out, as I say. So, he just had he too good of a year. We talked about it before. He had more pressures or the same amount of pressures as Hassan Reddick with less than half the amount of snaps. I mean, Bryce Huff is a dog, man. He's a great player. He's someone that's going to go somewhere, and he could be a 15-plus a sack a year guy. The thing with Bryce Huff is if you tag him, you're paying him top 5 edge money. And I don't really think the Jets I don't personally think the Jets, Robert Saleh, Ulbrich, I don't think they believe that Bryce Huff is as good as maybe Jason and myself do. I don't think so. I think that's why, Will McDonald's in the picture. That's why Jermaine Johnson got all those snaps.
JFM.
And the other thing with Bryce Huff, he doesn't fit the Jets mold because Bryce Huff is not a good run stopper. That's not his position. He's more of a wide 9 guy, which Saleh likes to run at times, but that's mostly in passing downs. He doesn't stop the run well. If you want to take PFF numbers, he was 48 out of 100 ranked on a rating system, not out of players, but at a rating, stopping the run. He was one of the worst edge at stopping the run. They like Solin Ulbrich, these guys that sort of rotate in and out, these JFMs, these Jermaine Johnsons. They like to run these stunts with these defensive tackles. Bryce isn't that. Bryce is, I'm going to be on the outside and I'm going to rush the passer every freaking play. Even if you're maybe going to run the ball, I'm still going to try to get outside leverage and rush. They don't like that, so he doesn't fit their build as to how they want to, make up the D line. He just doesn't fit that.
Yeah. So, I mean, understandable, but one more, and then we can move on to our next topic here. The Buccaneers have a plethora of very good players they could select to throw the franchise tag on. They have, of course, Antoine Winfield, who's had a phenomenal season. They have Mike Evans, and they also have Baker Mayfield. Who do you guys think should be the one that receives that franchise tag? I think, for me personally, you try and, you let Evans go out, get his number, and then come back to you, see if you could sign him. He's done so much for that franchise. I feel like he does want to be there, but Winfield was just so freaking good that you need him on your team next season. I think Winfield gets the franchise tag, but I also think that they will find a way to keep Evans. And Baker Mayfield should probably get a 1 or 2 year deal, something like that.
It's surprising to see Winfield on there, because why would you tag him when you should sign him to a big deal? I know it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And you see that with safeties now. Safeties aren't as valuable to teams as they used to be. But now with guys like Kyle Hamilton and Antoine Winfield, you're starting to sort of see a different picture. Back. Yeah, with the safety position. So you got to sign the guy. You sign him and you tag, you tag Evans. That's what I would do. I don't know. I mean, this list Nick put together from uSTADIUM, I don't agree with a lot of this logic. I don't know where these sources are coming from, but to me, you tag Evans and you re-sign Winfield to a long-term deal. That just makes sense. Also on this list, Jason, if you want to talk about Winfield, but also on this list, T. Higgins, they're talking about signing him to a long-term deal, and Michael Pittman.
As they should.
I don't think those guys are going to be tagged. I don't think Pittman's going to be tagged for sure. Higgins, I'm not sure, but I don't know. Some of this list, I don't know. I don't know where this information's all coming from, but Nick put it together, so I'm just being honest. I don't really know.
I want to talk about the receivers. Higgins, I tag and trade because you got to pay Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is your one. Yes. You pay Jamar. You don't pay T. Higgins wide receiver one money to be your wide receiver.
Exactly.
Tag and trade. Deep wide receiver class too. You can find somebody else to complement Jamar. Doesn't have to be the most expensive, shiny thing on the market. Okay, so we tag and trade T. Higgins. Michael Pittman, I'm definitely tagging. Anthony Richardson is going to go off this year. I think he's going to give Aaron Rodgers a good challenge for comeback player of the year. Kid is a stud. And then you'll have Jonathan Taylor, Pittman, healthy Richardson. I'm just looking at the rest of the names on here. Josh Allen, don't even think twice, franchise tag. Brian Burns, I'd actually try to work out a long-term deal because he's just that good. And the Panthers have neglected every homegrown talent they've ever had. And then Jalen Johnson, you got to bring back if you're Chicago, because in all likelihood, you're using the your first pick on Caleb Williams, and maybe you can use the second one on maybe like a Dunze, Brock Bowers. Maybe you go defense, Dallas Turner, Jared Verse. So you're going to need some help in the secondary, so I tag Johnson too. Then the thing with the Chiefs, the last thing I want to mention, Chris Jones and L'Jarius Sneed.
Yep.
Chris Jones, 100%, if you're Kansas City, needs to
cash in. Cash in
to be
right now. Cash in. You need
now
to.
Sneed.
He's going to want money.
He's going to want money.
You want to take Chris Jones?
He deserves it, bro.
Chris Jones is gone.
No, I don't think so, bro.
Chris Jones is gone. He's going to want a big deal. Casey's got too much money tied up in too many places. They don't have money for him. They're not going to. They almost didn't bring him back this year. They're not,
no, you're right.
They're not going to. I don't see Chris Jones in a Chief anymore. This is why dynasties are so hard to keep, by the way. This is the same reason.
Of course.
It's tough to win 3 in a row because of things like this. Chris Jones and his agent, I don't see him back. I could be wrong. I mean, listen, I could be wrong.
I get where you're coming from. It's not a bad point at all. It's just like, is this the new Tyreek for the Chiefs? Like, you won a Super Bowl with an elite defense and Patrick Mahomes. You won a Super Bowl with Tyreek Hill, elite offense, and Patrick Mahomes. Is this the new chapter of the Chiefs where it's like, okay, well, we still have Mahomes forever, and we'll just find new ways to allocate resources? That could very well be the case. But if I'm Kansas City, I'm working hard to bring back Chris Jones.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I know the Jets are interested in Michael O from the Patriots, so we're looking at some offensive line depth.
Thank
starters
God.
potentially too. Calvin Ridley too is another name the Jets are rumored. Andres.
So Mike O for me is for the Patriots. That's like a pretty easy one. If you're drafting a quarterback, how do you not tag O? Like, why wouldn't you tag him?
Just for money purposes. They don't want to tie up.
But if that's the only reason, I mean, you got to figure it out, bro. Like
the Patriots,
you'd rather keep him over Duggar. No.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a thought.
I don't know. That's how I feel.
You don't. The thing is, when you tag an offensive lineman, you're going to pay them top 5 at the position money for 1 year. If you know you're going to suck in a year, why would you pay that money and make it, and have it on your books when you're not going to be good anyway? I know that sounds stupid, but that's kind of the reality. It's like, we're going to suck. Yeah. Why the hell would we tag someone and pay him top 5 money, which is expensive? Yeah. Offensive linemen, left tackles make a shitload of money. So it's like,
But for the development of your quarterback, it could be beneficial, bro. You never know.
That's what I was thinking. The only benefit out of that is developing your quarterback. That's it.
Yeah.
Guard, but whatever. He's a guard. Yeah.
So in other news, our buddy Dak Prescott decided to come out and, actually did not come out. Andrew Schultz came out and said that Dak Prescott is going to be commanding about, $60 million a year. So let's just play that video for you guys real quick. Let's get that over here.
Really had the best season of his career. But you also have Dallas, who still has to pay CeeDee Lamb. They still have to pay Micah Parsons. And obviously, they're going to have to pay Dak Prescott. Now, I've been on the record. I believe Dak Prescott is going to command somewhere along the lines of $60 million per year, potentially making him the highest paid quarterback in football and resetting his quarterback market. He played that well. And really for most of the season, especially that back half of the year, Dak Prescott was the MVP favorite or in that conversation and obviously finished inside the top 5. So he really was there throughout, okay? And
so our buddy Andrew Schultz basically saying that, Dak played at an MVP level for a majority of the season. For me, this is so disgusting. I've been so out on Dak for quite literally years now. When someone consistently chokes in the playoffs the way that Dak does, how are you giving this guy $60 million a year? I understand Jerry Jones may think it's like a good idea to, he wants to win right now and he's going to throw around all this money to keep these dudes together. But if you want to keep CeeDee Lamb and make him, give him that true wide receiver one money, giving Dak $60 million a year over 3-4 years is such a I don't know, heinous idea. He's not getting you to a Super Bowl. And I think it's pretty proven at this point. He'll get you to the first round. If you're lucky, he'll get you to the second round. But we haven't seen anything more than that. So how is this guy going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league? Frankie, explain, because I don't.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think you're spot on. I literally was going to almost repeat what you were saying. The thing is, in the NFL, there's one thing that is very difficult to find, and that is the quarterback. So when you have one who's above average and you're winning games, they won 12 games in a row, 3 years in a row, or 12 games 3 years in a row. What are you going to do? I mean, you have no other option. Yeah. So it's like, you want to move on from Dak? What's going to happen? Do you want to draft someone? Well, how does Dak feel about it and some of the guys? You're always in that predicament in the NFL. If they're smart, they negotiate him where he's not making 60. He's maybe making 50. He's on a contract now. He's making 44. Yeah. So, I mean, or he's making 40, excuse me, not counting 40. The bonus. But still, I mean, Dak, it's going to be tough to, substitute that production. It's going to be tough to find that elsewhere, and you're in a win now mode. So the Cowboys are not in a great spot. They're not in a bad spot, but they're not in a great spot either.
Yeah, I think they're in purgatory. I think the Cowboys are in purgatory. I mean, you're about to pay Dak and reset the market.
It's like your stream, Jason. It's in purgatory. You see him freeze?
Am I frozen?
Yeah, you are frozen.
I'm thinking about how the Cowboys windows slam shut.
He's gonna load in.
I was gonna say I've been frozen on my screen for a minute. I didn't know if I was good or not, but
it'll come back eventually.
Yeah, I'm on the stream.
I was waiting, dude. It's been like this.
Because when he said purgatory, his screen just froze. So I was like, oh crap.
That's hilarious.
No.
Anyway, might as well continue that point, Jay.
Yeah, I'll continue, even though you can't really see me talking. But anyways, there's always going to be a ceiling on the Cowboys' success with Dak Prescott at quarterback. Like, are you going to win the Super Bowl if you're paying him that much money? How many teams in recent years have won a Super Bowl when the quarterback is taking up a good chunk, around 30% of the team's cap, other than Patrick Mahomes? It's really hard to do when your quarterback is making that much money. When Burrow got extended, the Bengals regressed, and obviously he got hurt. But same thing with the Chargers, and then his injury. Jalen Hurts with the Eagles. When your quarterback makes so much money and isn't willing to like work the deal where there can be flexibility for the team, you absolutely put handcuffs on your team's future success. And I think this is going to happen with Dallas. You still got to pay CeeDee. You still got to pay Micah. Both of those guys are going to get paid like they're the best at their position. And when that time comes, I don't know if it's going to work. And we're back.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, AAV, just to go down some contracts. So you have Joe Burrow, has the highest current AAV in the NFL. Signed a 5-year, $275 million deal. So he's making $55 million annually. Then you have Herbert's making $52.5, Lamar $52, Jalen Hurts $51, Russell Wilson, damn, $48. Then you have Kyler Murray at $46, Deshaun $46, and Mahomes, the G, making 45.
And then if you go down a little bit more, Daniel Jones is over there for 40
Daniel
million.
Jones is right behind.
And that's the
Josh
benchmark,
Allen.
though. That's the thing. Is Dak Prescott $20 million better than Daniel Jones?
Is Dak Prescott better than Joe Burrow? No. Is he better than Justin Herbert? No. Is he better than Lamar Jackson? No. Is he better than Jalen Hurts? Probably not, but it's close.
No, I'd say no. I'd say no.
He's better than Russell Wilson. He's better than Kyler Murray. He's better than Deshaun Watson. He's not better than
That's
Mahomes.
the thing. The Cowboys, they're stuck in such a weird spot because, like Frankie said, Dak is good enough to get them 12 wins this season and make the playoffs, but he isn't in the upper echelon tier of quarterbacks where he's bringing you to the Super Bowl. Like it's just not happening, bro. Doesn't matter what you
not
play.
That game changer,
especially
he's
now,
a
like
bit of game manager,
bro. Yeah, if you're paying him $60 million, what Jason said is so spot on. Like it's going to catch up to the Cowboys one way or another. Like it's going to be hard to find quality free agents to sign with you, dude. It really is.
I was saying it when Dak got hurt, and then in the offseason, the Cowboys signed him to that deal, that first deal. I was like, I don't know, guys. This might be your way out, And I think I was wrong, though, if you look at it in totality. I think he came back and had a really good year, threw for 4,000+ yards. So I was probably wrong there, but
they just choke every time, bro. The regular season numbers are awesome. It's just
also remember, man, we got to remember
job this year on Dak though. That wasn't really Dak's fault.
He played like crap in that first half.
He played like crap. Yeah, he did, but like the defense also was Swiss cheese, and that's a different conversation.
Yep.
About how Deron Bland shouldn't have been an All-Pro just because he basically playing wide receiver as a DB. That doesn't make you a lockdown corner. You want to talk about lockdown corners, look at Sauce Gardner, Darrell Revis. But that's all I got on that.
By the way, where do you live again, Jason? Are you in that special town in upstate New York?
Yeah, I'm in that special town that we're not going to name right now.
We have to do a stream from Homer, New York, and just talk about the Yankees and Jets, why they're like the best teams, and Jalen Brunson's a top 5 player in the NBA. Yes.
Oh my God.
I might move to Homer.
No,
I'll move to Homer with the Juan Soto jersey,
Anyway, boys, I think we covered pretty much everything over here today. We appreciate you guys for listening, watching, whatever you guys were doing on Twitter or YouTube. Go download the uSTADIUM app. I wish we had the QR code over here. We'll have it for next stream, but go download the uSTADIUM app. Go DM me, Jason, Frankie, anyone on uSTADIUM, and let them know that you want points. Say that you came from the stream. We'll send you some points. And that's pretty much it for me.
I'll give them 5,000 to join my take. I have Garrett Wilson finishing as a top 3 receiver in the league this year. Frankie told you I'm a homer. I'm going to double down on it. Garrett Wilson will finish as a top 3 receiving yards this season with a healthy Rodgers and improvements to the Jets O-line. Mark my words.
There you go. Go win some money. That's pretty free, boys. Frankie?
Fellas, it's been a pleasure. This is one of many, the hot list, and this is one of many times that Jason's going to be a homer, so just get ready for it. So,
dude.
No, D, you did a great job. This is nice, man. It's good to have a nice little rundown, nice little hot list topic thing.
Yes, sir. I think we did good for the first one. We appreciate it. All right, thank you, guys.
Keep it going. Appreciate it, guys.
See you guys later, man.
Salute.
Have a good one.